That we now have breaking news at what is 12 after 6. We've just been told now that the ANC KZN, the urgent application to interdict the ANC provincial conference has been granted by the Pietermaritzburg High Court. The matter is now adjourned to July 7th. I know we are going to get hold of our colleague Pietermaritzburg Magistrate in just a short while from now to bring us more details. So that breaking news you can see going to be running at the bottom of your screen in a few minutes from now. We'll get details. In fact, Pietermaritzburg Magistrate, I believe you are with me. Pietermaritzburg, hello to you. So the court has ruled. Give us the details.
Indeed, it simply means the KwaZulu-Natal ANC provincial conference will not go ahead. It's been halted by the Pietermaritzburg High Court. The judge issued the judgment about 10 minutes ago. She said there are certain irregularities that need to be fixed urgently because according to the applicants, basically there were three main points that were brought to court. The issue of convening of branch general meetings and some ANC members claiming that they were left behind in the process. And also one of the talking points here for the applicants, they were arguing that the conference cannot be convened because the 90% threshold was not met. However, the respondents tried to argue that indeed they don't have to meet the 90% threshold for voting delegates, but just to convene the conference. So the judge said there are some issues that still need clarity. She raised three questions that she said they need clarity, and then the respondents were unable to respond to satisfy her. So she decided to halt the provincial conference, but said the matter must come back to court on the 7th of July so that arguments can be heard further on this matter. But it simply means, according to the Pietermaritzburg High Court judgment, the conference cannot continue. But we've got some reaction here from the applicants. We are joined by Usiyabonga Hlongwa, who's one of the applicants here. How do you feel about this decision, and why did you take this matter to court in the first place?
In fact, I will say about the feeling, it's not a good feeling. We're not excited because it's an embarrassment from the ANC, because we have raised these issues a number of times to say there are problems, they are unprocedural, that has been taking place while they're conducting BGMs. So the main reason that we came to the High Court was to say there are irregularities that has been taking place in the process where we're preparing toward the provincial conference as well as the regional conference.
But now the NEC and the NWC came down to KwaZulu-Natal, listened to you and said the majority of ANC branches wanted the conference.
The challenge is you can have the voice of the majority, but the problem was within the regions. I will be specific to Moses Mabhida region. We have raised the issue that there is a gatekeeping that is being happening for such a long time, more than 3 years. Also the violence and political killings that we have raised to say in this region, we've got at least more than 14 activists and activists who have been killed in this region. So you cannot say that the environment is normal to conduct any conference. So these are challenges that we have raised with the leadership. You might say that the 6 other regions, they are fine. As you could see this court in this court that we have got 3 regions that have raised this concerns.
So where to from here on the 7th of July you are back here, but do you want this conference to continue this year or after the elections?
We'll say, as the letter of the SG that he wrote, he said all these issues must be dealt with. Then after, once we have dealt with these issues, then we'll be able then to conduct the conference. We are not saying the conference mustn't take place, but we are saying there are issues, there are challenges that need to be attended to. Then we can conduct it. Why then we rush to the conference? Why? There are a lot of problems that are taking place in our structures as the ANC.
That is Usiyabonga Hlongwa, is one of the applicants. In fact, there were 6 applicants from 3 regions. Each region, which is the Moses Mabhida, the Lower South Coast, and the Harry Gwala, had 2 applicants. In total, there were 6.
Pietermaritzburg, the problem that many people will state is the writing was almost on the wall in the build-up to this ANC KZN conference. There's been intense negotiations and violent tensions, and my understanding is that it's all got to do with a number of key positions. There were 5 key leadership positions. So some critics will say this evening that this shouldn't surprise many people that this conference has been postponed.
In the past, I've interviewed the applicants. They have always threatened legal action should the provincial conference go ahead. It's not surprising that they did bring this urgent application to court. However, the respondents' legal representative argued that they were only given 45 minutes to respond to the affidavits and the documents in court, and they couldn't formulate their argument because they didn't know what was being argued. But yes, it's not surprising that it was brought to court. They have threatened in the past to bring it to court. However, we saw some leaders of the ANC a while ago leaving. They are very unhappy. They look depressed. Of course, it was all systems go for this provincial conference. That's what they told us yesterday when they convened a press briefing. In that press briefing, we also asked the NEC member, Nokawe Maf, who's deployed in KwaZulu-Natal. She said they have dealt with all issues, all complaints, so there were no issues that can cause the conference to be halted. However, the court found otherwise.
It certainly does seem to be the case. Siphamani Legoge, thank you very much indeed. I know you're going to continue working your angles and your sources down in KZN. That big breaking news you can see running at the bottom of your screen here on Newsnight at what is 19 after 6. The ANC KwaZulu-Natal conference has been postponed by court order to the 7th of July. There'll be